Welcome back, everybody, to XODVD, the podcast. It's been a little bit. Trying to fix this mic stand here. Sorry. It's been a little bit. Before we get into things, I just wanted to gently remind everyone that this episode does explore topics of mental health, suicides, and stuff like that. So if you're not wanting to hear stuff like that, or this episode might not be for you, but we will see you soon. Um, so other than that, I got my little notes here, what I wanted to um kind of go over. I put off this episode for a very long time, I think, just because everything that I was talking about or ever did talk about mental health was always dismissed as I'm doing it for attention, or I don't know what real struggle is or anything like that. This microphone is like so crazy. It's like we're at a club. Um But I think that I wanted to finally sit down and make this because one, I'm feeling finally motivated to just kind of open up and not really care anymore. I've spent my whole life caring. I've been called a loser. I've been called all of the names in the world. Been through things. I've done things to people. Everything has. I've lived life. That's just it's what happened. But through my 27 years of living so far, a a lot has happened, and I don't want this episode to come off like I want pity or anything like that. I think the biggest thing for me was I just wanted to be open, because I know also we are going into back to school season for a lot of people, younger kids or older kids, or just even college and stuff. Or summer's getting over and people are going back to whatever it is. And I know sometimes that can be a little like anxiety ridden too. Like that can give you a lot of anxiety going back to school or anything like that. So that kind of made me reflect on this time as well. Um, and so yeah, I just figured we should get into it. I get so excited and then so nervous to do these. And then I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it the day after, and then I always find myself doing it when I do it at nighttime. It's almost 10, or I'm sorry, it's almost 9, but I don't know. I feel like at nighttime too, we sit with our thoughts more so. Um, so yeah, when I don't really remember how old I was. Was I what, 22? I think when I was 22, I decided that I was going to check myself into a mental health treatment facility. It was something that I thought about for a few months, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then I was like, okay, no, I'm not. And then things just got to like a really bad breaking point, and I finally decided I was like, okay, I really need to go. And that was in January of 2020, and um, that was a very weird time, very, very weird time in my life. Just thinking about it, just it makes me feel weird. I don't know. Uh, Not, I don't want to say like triggered or whatever, but it just brings back so many memories and uh, good and bad, I guess. Going to treatment 100% also contributed to saving my life, but I also feel like when you go into treatment, there is a lot that people don't know when they go into treatment also. And I think that's another thing I also want to touch on in this video is when people are going to treatment, you're already so vulnerable and you go in there and you meet so many people. Everybody's there for obviously for different reasons and whatnot, but um I do think that treatment facilities, I think there needs to be more for mental health. There's a lot of dual diagnosis, which means there's mental health and substance together. Um, which I was there for mental health, nothing for substance abuse. I mean, I was I surrounded myself with not so good people when I was in Florida. That's where I went to treatment. Um, After I left, I surrounded myself with, bad people, but that's nobody else's fault except mine. And I take full responsibility, full accountability for that. But I think that it was just a very strange time, just a very strange time. And what was wild to me was that like I flew down to Florida in January of 2020, right after Christmas. So um, this was before the pandemic had officially started, I think, because I don't remember hearing anything about it until I was actually at treatment. Um, and that was just a whole thing in itself. Like I was ready to live my life as the world was shutting down. So it was like a catch 22 because it's like, okay, I've been hiding in my house for the past 2 years, not wanting to leave, suicidal, blah, 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 blah. And then now ready to be happy and I'm utilizing tools that I've learned in treatment and the world is shutting down. And that was like a big fuck thing, like a big mind fuck to me. Like it's so funny because you never realize the true little freedom, the little true things and luxuries that you have of life, like just going for a walk outside. Some people can't even do that. And yeah, I don't know, like when we were in treatment, a lot of facilities, I think a lot of different it depends where you go. The one that I was at, it was very strict where like you were like watched at all times when you were even walking. So I mean, which I totally get for safety reasons, but you value privacy and the luxury of like being able to have privacy, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Um I do kind of ramble a lot, so I apologize if I do that. But uh I think so. The biggest thing for me with treatment was I went there, um, learned a lot about myself. I met amazing people. I spent time with amazing doctors. I learned, like I said, so much about myself, and it was very hard being away from my family, for so long, especially the no phone part. I didn't have a phone from January to March, which it was very good, and when I got it back, it was very overwhelming. But uh, I that feeling of not having the phone and just scrolling and just mindlessly scrolling and just, like even when you're sitting there, that's my dog in the background. Even when you're sitting there, I don't know about you, but like sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'll watch a movie and I'm just all of a sudden I pick it up and it's like, no, 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 no. And it's not that I'm not interested in the movie. It's like we're so prone to checking our phones and just having it with us 24/7. Everybody is addicted to technology in some way, and it is crazy, but it's the world that we live in. And yeah, so I'm gonna take a sip of water, some just straight. Um, I've never been like the normal type of boy or type of person. I'm not like when I was little, you didn't find me playing in the sandbox. I wanted to go play dress up, or I was pretending that I was on stage at Madison Square Garden or TD Garden, formerly known as like the Fleet Center, which was the first place I saw Britney Spears for my first concert. I wanted to be a star, and I thought everything would be that way, like when I grow up. And it was like everything's gonna be magical. Um, I'll get to leave behind everything. And little did I know that reality smacks you in the face really fucking hard when you grow up. Uh, and I'm very thankful that I have a beautiful mother, a kind mother that has supported me and hasn't left my side and has always been there for me. Um, I love my mom. She's my rock, and we butt heads so much, but that's because we love each other. So I love her. She's very awesome. And yeah, I think one thing about mental health and parents and relationships and everything like that, it can get very tricky because a lot of the time they will blame themselves for you going through the things that you're going through. And I'm trying to like find a way to say that because my mom did that a lot. She would always say, you know, I tried, I gave you so much and I have loved you so much. I don't know what else I can give. And that's the thing is that people have to realize it's not always, it's not them. It's not the giving. It's not, you can have a million people in the world tell you that you love you. If you don't believe it yourself, it doesn't matter. And I've started to realize that, and I've started to learn that. I'm figuring things out. I am. I've always said that I want to be happy with whatever I do, and that's my goal. I think a lot of people can relate to that. I don't think I'm better than anybody because I don't want to work because I won't work at McDonald's or Dunkin' or anything like that or something. I've tried and it's just it's not for me. And you know what? Bless the people that can do it. But I don't think that makes me superior at all. And the only reason I say that is because I've been told that, well, you need to take away your dignity and your ego, or, and that's like, just shut the fuck up. You don't know. And I think a lot of people will understand what I'm saying is when people are like, just take any job. I get like, yes, you need money and you need to take a job, but at what point do you fully sacrifice your happiness? Because when you're already such a miserable person and so unhappy with yourself, why would you want to then go to a job that you're unhappy with? And that's just, and I think, and I know that's probably people are going to say that's the millennial or Gen Z or whatever talk, but it's not entitlement. I don't think it's entitlement. I think that everybody in the world should be able to do what they want to do, and it's very sad that a lot of people hate their jobs. A lot of people have to take what they can get because they have to support their families, or you know, just stuff like that, and it's very sad. But I feel like a lot of people might be able to relate to that aspect of not wanting to just take any sort of job. It's like I feel I'm not right now. I'm like I feel in a good place, but if I'm already feeling down or upset and stuff like that, why would I want to do more damage? You know, I already see myself in my head as a loser. Like like to me, I don't think other people that work at McDonald's and stuff are losers, but to me, it's like I'm proving the point to the people that said like, "Oh, you're gonna end up there." Which, like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong working with there, and I hope I'm not offending anybody when I say that, but I'm just trying to be honest and relatable. Yeah. So back to the treatment talk. This podcast, and I think I talked about this before. It's like me, it's all over the place. So we're probably talking about rainbows at one point, and then the next minute we're talking about cars flying with cookies in the air. I don't know. That doesn't even make sense, but that's that's just my mind works all over the place. Um, when I landed in Florida for treatment, I got picked up and you know, you have to give your phone and stuff. And when I got there, it was really so scary because you basically I don't want to say strip searched, but you kind of do. They make you kind of, you know, take your clothes off, make sure everything, you don't have anything that's dangerous and stuff like that. For me, I didn't have like it was very hard to not have a lot of the beauty products and stuff that I had, and I know that's silly to say, but obviously you can't have razors and tweezers and stuff like that unless you're supervised or for a certain while for a certain amount of time until like you're approved to I don't know. It was a little odd, but I understand it because some people are more dangerous to themselves than others. Um, at that point, right then and there, I wasn't wanting to necessarily die, but I always wondered what life would be like without me, and I always thought it would be better, and that was one of the reasons that I was there at that time. There have been times where I've said, okay, I just want to kill myself, and I've thought about doing it right then and there, and it's I don't know how to describe the feeling because a lot of people will understand it, but then a lot of people won't. Uh, it's not a feeling that I hope anybody ever experiences. It's just that feeling of like complete and utter emptiness when you feel like you don't know what to do anymore. And it makes me feel so like thankful, but also broken that I felt that before because I know other people have felt that and will feel that. And that's why I want to make stuff like this and talk about stuff like this because I think there's a big stigma around mental health, especially for men, obviously. I'm not the manliest man, I'm a gay man, but it can be tricky for guys, I think, because they can be seen as weak and they always have to be manly or whatever like that. And I think it's okay for guys to seek treatment, and I think it's okay for guys to talk about their feelings. Um, as I've gotten older, I feel like I've gotten more understanding to men, and that's a lot of that I did a lot of healing with that in treatment because before treatment, I was so petrified of them. I didn't want to even go to a bathroom in public or whatever because I was just so scared something was going to happen. And it was in the back of my head. And I don't have that. It's not the victim mentality or whatever. It was just the fear in my head. It was things I was telling myself. And to this day, I'm not as hard on myself or as worked up easily, but I still have my days. I still get nervous where I don't want to leave the house or I don't want to go do something alone or something like that. And that's okay. But a lot of the time, I also do like my alone time. So it's like hand in hand. But yeah. So I'm not sure where we left off with that. Anybody that knows me will understand this podcast because they know how I am and I'm just so like all over the place. But the point of this episode, I guess, was just to really remind people that you're not alone. Um, and life can be shitty sometimes, but it's so fucking beautiful. And we have to appreciate it before it's too late, before we don't have anything left, before everything's taken from us, anything. Like, we only live once. And I'm trying to learn that myself every single day. And I just hope if anybody out there is struggling that you know that you're not alone. Um, we, you watching, listening, me talking right here, we're all living proof that things can get better. And I pray to God that you never forget that. I think that everybody struggles for a certain reason, but I don't think that healing and everything it's not a one size fit thing. Um, I think Demi Lovato said it best one time. She said something along the lines of it's not like you're a car where you're sending your car into a body shop to go get fixed. That's not how mental health works. You're a daily work in progress. And I really 100% agree with that. And I think that was from forever ago that she said that in a documentary. But I hope anybody that's struggling or anybody that knows anybody, just please be there for people and please remind them how much you love them. And if you need alone time or if you want to be with people, just do it. Um, music is always great. And there's so many, social media and phones and technology can be such trash, but there are so many outlets out there. There's Reddit and there's the 988 hotline and there's chat rooms and stuff like that. And there are so many people out there that are willing to help. And you can do it like confidentiality, like where they don't know who you are. Uh, I know I speak very stupid. Sorry, but it's because I'm nervous. Yeah. So I hope that this episode resonates with someone. I'm gonna try and get more consistent with these. But yeah, so I love every single one of you guys who watches and supports me. So I will see you very soon. And yeah, good night.